Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to another episode of Nosh's Quest to Gold. We're going to start off here in a game of a map that I can't remember the name of, but I'm just going to go with Shattered Temple? Anyway, it's a Protoss versus Zerg, and my opponent today is going to be this red Zerg Kendra. And up here, myself, everybody's favourite, it's Nosh. A nice little good luck, have fun, and a you too. I am the blue Protoss, I didn't say that. Now it's going to be far distance spawns. I didn't mean to drag this, but I'm going to do it now. Going to be far distance spawns, the furthest possible distance. Cross positional spawns, some might say, if they were actually using the correct terminology, between myself and Kendra. Now you'll see this line that just came up. You can see I've dropped my 9 pylon, and that's me heading out with my probe. At the same time, Kendra's already got a scout out looking for me. It's a very early scout from the Zerg. I don't know whether he's afraid of cannon rushes or I don't know what he's afraid of, but both of us are going to scout in the wrong direction first and then swing on back around and find each other again. I'm surprised to see the Overlord moving in just no scouting direction at all. He's just going to be tucking himself on in this little part of the base back here. Nothing but drones, and more drones coming out of Kendra, my red Zerg opponent. Whereas back home you'll see a standard Nosh opener, which is, 9 pylon, which is going for a wall off because it's Zerg, with your 12 gateway, and then we're about to see a 14 assimilator. I imagine any second, as soon as I get the resources for it. This guy, see this guy, he's going to build it. Spoilers, there you go. Epic spoilers. Now I've scouted the wrong base. Noticed that my opponent's not there. At the same time, Kendra's going to come in. We're going to have a quick look and see what he sees. Now he's going to see my nexus that's building, and he's going to see already here that this is a gateway, and that there is no expansion. So he has felt quite safe in that respect to drop his own expansion back home, which has just been scouted. As you can see, vision-wise, has just been scouted by me. Now, I'm sneaking on back here. I'm just having a wee hide, but I noticed this Overlord, and I'm going to get nibbled as well by the drone. So I'm sneaking on back off, and at the same time, Kendra is failing at life. He didn't pay attention to his mini-map and didn't have his scout attached at all. Now I'm being chased around and nibbled in the feet by our good friend, the probe of Kendra. The drone of Kendra. Goodness. That mistake all the time. Meanwhile, back home, I do have my wall off with enough of a gap. I think we're gonna have a look and see. Yeah, there's a gap there, a gap that would fit a zealot or a probe or something like that. So there's enough of a gap that I can sneak things in and out of my base, or zealots could sneak in and out of my base. Meanwhile, back up at Kendra's base, you can see his spawning pool is almost complete. He's getting enough gas. Hopefully, I would assume he's getting enough gas to get out some speedlings. This little probe is still running around, causing a bit of hassle, trying to sneak away. Now I can see that his hatchery is up, so it's probably about time I deal with that somehow. Warp gate has been started, and another gateway has just been placed down back home for Nosh. And the gateways, as you can see, that are coming in are being placed quite far away from my opponent's base. You'll actually see, in terms of distance, these now 4 gates, 1, 2, 3, 4 gates are about as far away as possible from this base as they could be. It's in the hope that Overlords haven't got far enough to my base, and I can deny any scouting with this little zealot here, which has just happened. Kendra just ran his little duty up here and is now just going to hang out and make sure that I'm not expanding myself. Now, something to take note of is that I don't have any forward pylons at all. My probe on his little journey was followed through most of it by this drone. Unfortunately, because of that, there's no forward pylons at all, so I don't have an attacking position to go from. Now my stalker, thankfully, just manages to kill that drone before it sneaks on into my base, just before my warp gate finishes. I've got my 2 forward forces here. At the same time, although I should be keeping up, I'm not. A Roach Warren is almost finished building for my Zerg opponent. Not a lot to talk about. He is still droning up pretty hard. He is still gathering quite a lot of gas, and he hasn't opted to get his metabolic boost yet, which is quite surprising. He doesn't have any Zerglings out on the field to hold any towers or anything. He's just focusing hard droning, and obviously spine crawling. Now this I wouldn't recommend. This doesn't look like a good position of a forward pylon for me. You'll notice that my probe is actually going to plant down one just here after checking out this third, and luckily for me is going to be out of the vision range of this overlord here. I've actually snuck into it, but you just can't see me. I'm just that awesome, and I did opt to not put anything here. Now this is a lot of spine crawlers. I imagine that Kendra is expecting some form of push or some form of aggression from myself, but I don't think he'll be expecting the form of aggression that's coming now. Now this 4-gate is late. This is a late 4-gate, but thankfully for me, Kendra hasn't been pushing up forces as well as he could be, so we're going to let my zealots tank an insane amount of damage that they could really do with not tanking, which gives me enough time to sneak on a couple of units back here. Now that's me bypassed the initial 4 spine crawlers there, and I have these units just stuck in the back here that are able to reach this hatchery here. Now I've just decided I'm going to completely disregard attacking these spine crawlers at all, and I'm just going to move as many units as I can into the back of the mineral line, effectively cancelling all mining at this base, as well as being able to pick it off and take it out. Now the roach warren has obviously been up, and with some good forces, a bunch of roaches are coming. A lot of roaches are coming, in fact, but I do have my forward pylons down, and I'm getting a bunch of stalkers on. Kendra's doing the sensible thing and moving his spine crawlers a little bit closer. I would have liked to see that behind the back of some roach pressure, and maybe bringing them up here to give me a better chance, give him a better chance of defending this, but now he's actually getting 2-prong attacked. This roach force, now that it's actually left this hatchery to die, which is done, should really be moving on back here and looking for these pylons. I'm not sure if he's going for a counter-attack completely, or whether he was looking for a pylon, but the use of his forces of just wandering around in the low ground where he has no vision of these units doesn't seem like the best use of his units. He's moving in for the kill here. That's a lot of roaches, and it should do wonders to this stalker count here. You'll see again I'm using the power of absolutely no micro, but it's actually quite an even engagement until these zealots come in the back. Kendra's going to use his little wall of almost dying spine crawlers, seeing as they're running out of creep, to do what he can to try and hold this off. You can actually see this big pool is going to be a bunch more roaches popping in a second, but I'm keeping up constant aggression. You can see I'm never quite making supply cap by the fact that I'm always losing units, and it's going to be a little bit of a back and forth. Now Kendra is forced to retreat. He's lost another spine crawler. His army is still quite big though, so I'm choosing not to charge in face first and engage it. Another warp in of zealots, seeing as I just lost the last tanking ones. Pull my stalkers behind the zealots, let the zealots run in first, and then move the stalkers up the back of them to get a bit more damage. Now the zealots are maybe getting 1 hit off each before the roaches take another stab, but it's giving me plenty of time to walk through with the stalkers to make sure that there's more damage coming. Same plan again, walk back, walk back, walk back, warp in zealots. There you go. Hide behind the wall of zealots with your stalkers, pick off the roaches. Now Kendra definitely doesn't have the larva to engage this force that's coming towards him. He has lost his hatchery, he has lost the income, he's lost all those minerals. This could be a good time for me to pull back, maybe drop my own hatchery. Yep, I'm going to completely reroll a zerg in this game, drop my own hatchery, and then start producing zerg units. Now that overlord wasn't really an essential kill, nor is this dying spinecrawler. Could have just left it to die, but with this force of stalkers, the poke-in is going to happen. And as you can see, Kendra doesn't have a lot. He's actually pushed into lair tech, as well as not having terribly many larvae. And this number of stalkers is just going to be too much for Kendra, and he goes ahead and leaves the game. Now, it was an unfortunate start of the game for Kendra there. He didn't have a lot of units up here. Had he maybe pulled out some more roaches, or at least some lings to see the attack coming, a ling hanging out here, one at the bottom of the ramp, maybe a couple on these towers just going down the map. There's 2 there, but that what use is that? He had a quite nice position to this overlord when it was hanging up here to see these pylons, but it just wasn't in a good enough position to catch the proxies going down. A very well played game, I feel. I really enjoyed playing it. I hope you enjoyed watching it. Any comments, feel free to leave them at the bottom and I'll be happy to answer them. Thank you very much for watching. Peace out.